tell you, this gets kind of old. Oh, I'd rather be buying my stuff, but for now. Hey folks, how you doing? Welcome back. It's Charlie. It is Tuesday, September 14th, 2021. It's about 11:40, 11:35 in the morning. And currently right now it's a nice 77, 78 degrees. Whew. In fact, it was so much cooler this morning that I had to wear a long sleeve shirt just to go over here and get a bag of ice this morning. Yeah, as you see, today I went to the Salvation Army, and actually today's Tuesday, so I also went to the church and stuff, which I did pretty well actually. I'm having to just literally hoard everything in my room and just, keep the temptation for her and they and whomever, just try to keep all that at bay. So I am currently, right now, and today is also the California recall election day. So I'm going to head over here to the Jackie Robinson Center to go cast my vote. And also I'm going to go to St. Barnabas to drop off some goodies. All these things right here, like some of the snacks and toiletries and some food items, and hygiene products and some masks. Get a lot of masks when I go to the Salvation Army at the church. So I have my own, but I collect those, and I give them to the homeless over here, just in case if they happen to need to get on the bus and they don't have one. They just happen to have some. A lot of the buses here, well, Metro, I have yet to really see any on the Foothill or on the Arts. The Arts used to have masks available for free for anyone that needed. They since have ceased doing that. Foothill, I don't think I ever recall ever seeing them provide any masks, but Metro still does occasionally if you happen to get on the bus, and providing they're not empty, they're pretty readily available. So I'm gonna go drop off some goodies and then go across the street and go cast my vote and come home and do some things that I need to do. Tomorrow morning I have a Zoom call and second phase interview, so that's about as I've applied to this one place before in the past, but never got anything further than the first interview. So and that's okay. But to get a second interview with this place, this company, is actually quite good, and I think this was number 2 out of the 3 that I wanted. So hoping and knock on wood and do whatever I need to do superstitious wise. So yeah, I gotta, California has become extremely too liberal for my taste, and I find that word liberal in the way in California, at least, I don't know about anywhere else, but the word liberal and those that are liberal here in California, honestly, my opinion, personally, from everything that I've seen, being born here in California and raised and growing up and leaving and coming back, I always say that California is my boomerang state. When life always gets bad, I always come here to reconfigure and get the heck out. I since posting about Warzala and everything, and just I have gone back so much and reminiscing, and instead of going to Nevada, or definitely Florida would be it's just too expensive to get out there on the East Coast. But I would, if I had the opportunity, um, I would definitely go back to Wisconsin. I just love the area and the people out there in the Great Lakes area, and it's just because it's more conservative. I guess maybe that's another reason why, being homeless here, I kind of never fit in. It's not that I fit in. It's not a good choice of words. It's just that I don't. Me and excuse me, my friends and I, our little clique, we didn't like that whole rowdiness of homeless and stuff like that. We always tried to keep low key. It's hard enough being homeless. We always did also our best to wash up and not look homeless. Maybe that's why, because there were a lot of times when they would do the homeless count and the surveys and everything, or people would come by. They would always pass us, and we keep our bags and everything else, our backpacks and our bags, out of sight, out of line of sight, visual sight from foot traffic and anybody going by and stuff like that. And people that would go around and help homeless people, they would kind of slow down and look at our group, and they would kind of pause, and they would kind of like whisper to each other, and they would keep going, and they would pass many a times. We would get passed up and not get lunch or hygiene or whatever. Only those that really knew us, that actually really loved us, we just not rowdy, we just out of sight, out of mind, and do as much and as best as you can not to act and look homeless. I mean, being homeless is difficult enough without having to cause any attraction to you, or having the general public have a disdained look or a disdained attitude towards you. So yeah, in fact, even when I go to the Salvation Army, it gets kind of rowdy and stuff like that, and I just, I have my phones in, listen to music, and just like this, I'm just kind of keeping my head down to the ground. I don't want anybody to just like, and please don't misconstrue this. It's not that I try to that I'm better than them. It's just that I just don't need that kind of chaos in my life. We just didn't like that kind of chaos. I mean, we had our own little chaos in between our group and everything. We would fight like family, definitely. I mean, we've gotten into fist fights, and we pulled knives on each other, and picked up clubs and stuff. But we'd leave each other alone. A couple of days go by or whatever, and then we just, hey dude, I'm sorry, I was, either I was just drunk, or I was just in a really bad place, it's like, all right, yeah, whatever, okay. But it's just, no, it's being homeless now here in California is just, it's just so difficult. And most of these folks, there's, with the exception of a few, unfortunately, that are still out here, the older folks, I guess I don't know if they're still here, or hopefully they're up and gone and stuff like that. So it's so different. Oops. And California, being liberal out here, as society is just so much more liberal now, there's more restrictions. How can you be liberal with a lot of restrictions? Don't do this, don't do that. You can only have one, you can only have two. Make sure you're distancing. It's like, and actually, this is like day number 2 that the FDA says, what? Look, from what we've seen and from our studies, apart from the CDC, and I don't like the CDC. I remember how fucked up the CDC was back in the 80s when AIDS made their round and everything. And then going back to that and the whole Fauci thing is like, you know, wear a condom and all this, practice safe sex, yeah. And then actually with the whole masks, doubling up your masks and in some cases tripling, they actually, and I remember this being a teenager, you know, being 15 and being 16 actually. And it's like, well, you know, sometimes maybe it's a good idea if you know, you have 2 condoms on. It's like 2 condoms, really? It's just, no. The whole terminology of liberal is supposed to be a little bit more freedom and a little bit more liberal, but as liberal goes here in California, it's restrictive. And I see a lot of people just going with their agenda or whatever it is, you know, of liberalism. And it's just, that's not liberal. That's not being liberal. That's not what being, and that's not even being progressive. That is, you can't be progressive and have restrictions as much as they are doing here, at least in California or in Southern California. It's just, it doesn't make sense. I don't like that. It's not that I don't like the Democrats. I don't like the way the Democratic Society and the constituents have gone, and the constituents are following like lemmings. And a lemming will just keep going until it just drops off a cliff. You know, it just follows the rest of the pack, you know, and hey, you know what? Hey, George is up there. He just fell. Oh, there goes Mary. Oh, she just, well, let's go for it. Everyone's doing it. And that goes also, if your friends jumped off a bridge, would you? Yeah, that is the way the liberals are now out here, and the progressives. So, and the progressives never used to be like this, actually. Progressives and the liberals were just so much more different, you know. But, and as much as I hate that saying, it is what it is. It is what it is. And honestly, I'd really like to hightail it out of here. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go do this, go cast my vote, and come back and start working on the one video that I haven't worked on yet. And I still got to finish filling out that paperwork. She came home, by the way, last night. She came bouncing in around 8 p.m. And actually 8 p.m. right on the dot as I looked at my watch. And it was just, fuck. And I'm like, oh God, please don't. And then she disappeared for about 10 minutes. And as I was watching her on my security cam coming back, I think she went to go get beer because I had turned in early. I turned in about 9 o'clock, almost 9 o'clock. I had taken a Benadryl just so I could nod off. It's like, yeah, I don't want to be around. I don't want to be conscious that she's going to start shooting her mouth off. And I woke up and went to the restroom around 10:30ish, and she was already kind of in that drunken stupor mode. Not loud though, mind you, thank God. Oh, thank goodness. Actually, last night was pretty, you know, give her credit. She just got drunk, and this morning, when I got up early this morning, she was just barely waking up and just moaning and groaning and cursing and stuff like that. So hearing her and her behavior is just an affirmation for me of most likely how I was when I was homeless and drinking and stuff like that. That also keeps me from, you know, really wanting, you know, it's like, oh, hey, remember you wanted that, you were talking about having that beer, you even said so on the video? Yeah, look, that's what you want? All right, folks, I'm gonna go do what I need to do, and I shall talk to you later. Bye. Here's Jackie Robinson. There's the voting place. It's pretty barren. Let's see. It's not much, but it's something. It's pretty empty. It's been full before, but
not too good.
I'm already setting myself up for that one comment. De-seed. May I ask, what do you mean by de-seed? I've looked it up and there's really nothing to mean on de-seed. Is that your own word? Because just, if you're gonna post it, kind of leave me an explanation of what you mean. I think I have an idea what you mean, but yeah, it doesn't make sense. Another thing is, like, Charlie, if you're conservative, why is it that you did what you did, helping homeless and, you know, giving stuff to the homeless? It doesn't, look, I think everyone's view of what the difference is between conservative and being, you know, a liberal or a Democrat or whatever is just, I think everyone has taken it so different from what they see on the media. It's just not the way it's supposed to be on the media. I do this because I care about people and stuff like that. Being a conservative doesn't mean, oh, you're richer, you're Republican. No. Being a Republican means independence from the government. Creating yourself your own source of income and having to pay less and having to be less restrictive from the government. So that's what that is, you know. So because I've been asked and told that before. Well, if you're a Republican, why do you do this? Well, it doesn't mean that I don't like my fellow man. I love my fellow man, so that's why I do. You know, I've been down this road a couple of times in my life. You know, it's out of love. Yay! I did it. Oh, thank God. I think the last time I voted, I didn't do the electronic. I did the drop off at the box at one of these boxes. Oh, it was the box over here at the Rose Bowl. So, yay! I honestly don't think it's. I don't know. I hope, but there had already been problems with all this, especially in some of the cities, mainly like in San Fernando Valley. San Fernando Valley, they some of the people already, when they were doing their voting, their ballots had already pronounced them already cast. So yeah, it's just gonna be another what and who's who. So it's gonna be questionable. I don't know. Look, my thing is, whatever the outcome, I did my part. California is just my fear, and I've announced this like on Facebook and stuff like that, on social media, is that I think that Newsom is really distinct. He was really upset that he's being challenged first and foremost. So I think, if God forbid, I hope that I'm wrong, but I think that if he does win, I think he will impose more restrictions. I hope. You know, so. And one thing, I'm not eligible, and I had already checked on the website. I'm not eligible for the second round of the golden stimulus check, was $600. I had already received it once, even though my income level far exceeds, you know, it's at the poverty, so I'm below $23,000 annually. I won't get that second round. I mean, I didn't get the $1,400 that went to child support. So, oh, and yeah, the child support, I know it doesn't make sense. The majority of that, it's a combination of paying on my daughter, my second. My son is of age, but I'm mainly paying on the arrears. So, and for those of you that don't know, basically how the child support and the ruling is on divorce court and everything, for those of you that do know, or know someone who's been I don't want to say victim, but of circumstances, that is just, since I didn't show up for court and I couldn't get to court. If you enter in default, well, if you don't show up, that's an automatic default, and you're not there in person to contest whatever it is that the other party is saying against you, then their word is pretty much golden. And to try to get that changed, I'd have to retain an attorney, and that's just... So when it comes to the child support and the arrears, you know, 300 plus thousand, that's why I always, you know, people always would joke around and ask, why are you you know, why would you want... I would need at least a total cash winning, honestly I say, of at least $1 million, $1.5 million on a lottery. The majority would go out to taxes, first and foremost. That's at a 50% level. Second of all, child support would get the rest. And if I can walk away with at least 100,000, like if I were to win this weekend, I don't have the money to, I don't have the cash. I would only carry cash in my pocket. I haven't bought a lottery ticket since I was working, so I can't afford to anyway. So yeah, if I were to walk away with $1 million after taxes and child support, I would definitely hightail that out of California. I would definitely go to the Midwest, and I'd be closer to my daughter, that's for sure. You know, being in Wisconsin, just, you know, hop on down 2 states, and yeah, you know, it's just, it'd be easier. But it's just, California's a little too wacko now. Very heartbroken about that. But God, that only took, shoot, not even 5 minutes from standing in line. So, and this is a Jackie Robinson Community Center, or the Senior Center? Recreation Community Center. The other center is over there. I'm just grateful for having someplace, because I was looking last year and I wasn't sure if they were going to open this up. The closest that was opening up would have been in El Monte, and I would have had to get on a bus to go to El Monte, but I would have. This is just too important to me. And even if, I guess at this stage maybe it's a pipe dream, but even if a conservative were to take the gubernatorial, that's not the gubernatorial, what a goober, win, I'd still leave California, because even if a Republican were to take governor, it's going to be a matter of years just to get California back in its place, to where at least it's going to be decent. You know, and the thing here in California, all the ads and everything that they do is like, oh, you know, put a stop to the Republican blah blah blah. Well, first of all, the Republican committee is not backing up anybody here in California. For those of you that don't know, they had already long said that they're not backing anyone. This is kind of a rarity, but I understand. Which is, it's a good thing, because if they were backing up a candidate, the bashing would be so much worse than what it is right now. And right now, the forefront of the bashing of a Republican is Larry Elder. So yeah, I kind of understand. It's just less attraction. Nice move. So yeah, you know, it's just, I'd still leave. I would still leave California, because it's gonna take at least 2-3 years just to get it back into a decent place. And to make it sound, oh, the Republicans, they just want to remove this and remove that, and put your children's lives at risk, and put your life at risk, and so you know how it is when it comes to election time. No matter what side, left, right, up the middle, or down around the butt, it's just gotten really, really bad, especially since last year. So, whatever. I just wanted to come and do my part. That's it. however the chips fall, they fall, you know. And I'm sure even if Newsom wins, I know there's going to be a lot of speculation. And right so, you know. A lot of other people also didn't, they were showing that they showed also that the ballots went out, but a lot of people never got their ballots either, so.
Yeah, Mark and Lou, I can tell you this. Things have been pretty emotional, not just pretty emotional, very frustrated for a lot of these voters. They ended up getting provisional ballots. However, they say they have some mistrust in the voting system. We're going to get to that in just a little bit, but it's happening right here. Look at this polling location in Woodland Hills. This is the Disabled American Veteran 73, and it's been pretty busy as you see all these voters coming in and out just casting their ballots, but they are also pretty upset. Does it make you want to give up after doing this in many elections?
Yes, I feel so left behind and so wiped away. So they gave me another one of these to fill out, which I've now filled out about 10 of them. I fill one out after every election because they have me one at every election.
After a weekend glitch with their voting machines, voters say it is happening again today. Very frustrating for them. When they dropped off their mail-in ballots or came to the polling site to vote in person, they were told that they were already in the system, showing that they had already voted. Well, the LA County Registrar's Office says there were problems with the settings on some of the electronic polling devices used to check in voters on Saturday. That equipment was apparently replaced. However, that's not what I'm hearing from some of these voters. The voters were given a pink provisional ballot to make sure their vote is counted, and those ballots are for new voters or if they don't have an ID, people who've already voted, also inactive voters, and those who are out of the county. Kenneth Blake is very upset. He told me he already voted. He showed up today, and they said they were going to give him a provisional ballot. Let's take a listen.
Some boring yesterday. I heard all this gray hair being stupid. Okay, common sense tells me that the system is still rigged, and they do not want the American people to have the honest vote for themselves.
That's right.
Okay, so we're going to wrap this up pretty quickly here, but I reached out to the LA County Registrar's Office, and this is what they say. The voters who experienced this issue were offered and provided a provisional ballot, the fail-safe option to ensure no one is turned away from voting. After troubleshooting the issue, the equipment at the locations was replaced and voting continued. However, back out here live, that is not what I have been hearing from at least 3 or 4 voters so far. However, these polling locations will be opened all through tonight, but as you see, all of them just streaming in here. And I do want to make something very clear. I was able to talk to both Republicans and Democrats, people on both sides of the aisle. They both say they are having some issues. Reporting live here in Woodland Hills, Gene Kang, KTLA 5 News. Back to you.
All right, Gene, thank you for that.
And I think as of like a couple of months ago, somebody had gotten pulled over somewhere with almost like 250 or 300 ballots in their car. I guess they must have stolen mailed ballots. So I don't know, it's a bunch of BS. I try not to listen to all that because this is coming out from the mainstream media. I just try to get my feed. I listen to the only local news that I really watch is a KTLA, just for local news and the weather and the traffic reports and all this. But when it comes to the other stuff, hearsay news and all this other crap, I'll listen to it and then I'll go online and really find myself the truth, if it's out there. The truth is always out there, but it's just a matter of, do you want to do the work, you know? And you have to do your homework. And with a lot of the constituents out here, they don't want to do the work. Whatever is said, they take in and then they just listen and well, if it was on TV, it's got to be right. No, it's not. That's not true. So. Another comment was, well, isn't your other roommate, isn't he black? Yes, he is. He's black. And he's told me that she doesn't like him because she's even said, and I actually heard it one time when they were in the living room. She was talking to him. Why you up this motherfucker? You know, we got to stick with each other. We got, you know, skin to skin. You know, blood is blood. It's like, no. He's like, that man he's owned his own home. He's got 2 children that he pays child support on, and he's worked as hard as I did, trying to do, you know, paying the child support even when he was homeless, you know, trying to get whatever he could, odd jobs, so he can keep that rolling for his kids. And he's even said to me, and to paraphrase really God, but he says, why would I want to be something like that when I don't want my boys to be like that? You know, I want my kids to grow up to be proper and respectful of everybody. What she expects of me to be that, no. So since he wasn't on board with her plan and everything, you know, they started stealing the food and everything, and he was in the other fridge, and I had noticed, you know, little by little there was more stuff in my fridge, or not my fridge, but in the one that I use. And he's like, yeah, you know, they just, you know, they steal. Now they just, since our stuff or whatever is in there, you know, it's just easier for them to pick. But yeah, she doesn't like that. She doesn't like that. And that comment is kind of like, why would you think just because he's black, he's going to be on board with what she's saying? You know, even when he texts the landlord, it's like, hey, you know, something's up with her, or she's acting like this, or she's doing that. His texts go unanswered also. So, and he's even said that she must have that black sympathy or whatever, even though she's a churchy person. And I believe both she and her husband are pastors there at the church, so it doesn't matter. Whatever. I don't want to be here anymore in California. You know, especially here in Pasadena. I've been here in Pasadena for 13 plus years now. 13 years. And it's really gotten bad here. You know, it's just a sad state of affairs of how this state has become. It's heartbreaking, you know? This is the golden state. I mean, California's always been kind of liberalish, you know. We've always set the trend on lifestyles and freedom and everything. But not like this. Not like this. The way they treated and they utilized the races last year, the way they treated and utilized homelessness this year, it's not right. I don't like the way they consider human lives and communities at a disposal for their use and their convenience. I don't like that. All right, folks, I think the bus is coming. You folks take care of yourselves, take care of each other, but always take care of yourselves first. Love one another, trust one another, be kind to each other, help one another. Don't take today for granted or any other day thereafter. Live for the moment. Pull down your pants and slide on that ice. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up. If you like what I'm doing, we're doing, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification button. Tell your friends and family about me, about us, and Charlie voted. All right, folks. Love you. Bye.